I want more women to understand that weight training is so important to their longevity. You need this muscle on your body.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible to see and watch your body grow and change and realize that, holy cow, my body is so powerful.
Oh, it's so powerful. And what's so cool is you can mold it to anything you want it to look like. Literally. Hi, and welcome back to Chillin With Ice. I'm your host, Lori Fetrick, and I'm the former American Gladiator, Ice Ice Baby.
We are Chillin With Ice.
Hello, I'm Lori Fetrick, and welcome to Chillin With Ice today. Hi, Jeff. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Lori. What's up?
A lot's been going on. I haven't had a podcast in a couple weeks because I've been so busy.
I've
so
missed you.
I just want to say I'm very sorry to my audience.
Yeah. You
but
should be sorry.
There's a lot coming up, which is amazing.
That's great. Yeah, lots to catch up on, I'm sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. But today is about our guest today.
Yeah, who do we have?
And we have a female in the house, and yet she's in a very male-dominated world, which is, and she's doing very well in it. Her name is Swayze Valentine, and she is a cut man. Okay, now it says cut man, but yet she's woman. So should it be cut woman, cut person, cut girl? I mean, but she's going to explain what that means. Because even you're kind of looking at me like, what is a cut man?
Yeah, I mean, without actually literally cutting yourself, I'm only thinking about horses because I know there's like a cut thing with that whole thing. So I don't know.
I don't even know where you're going with that one, Jeff.
I don't know. It's an equestrian lifestyle thing.
Let's bring in Swayze. I am so excited to have her here. And Swayze Valentine, how are you?
Woo.
Welcome to Chillin With Ice.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I can't believe I'm here.
Oh, come on now. Well, the interesting thing is I met Swayze at it was actually on To Tell the Truth, the actual television show, when we were doing the plank special and everything. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, that was such a blast. It was you and Mike and Cal, and you guys were like my imposters. It was like the greatest experience ever.
It was so much fun. Please tell my audience what a cut man is. Because I know everybody's like, what is that? What is this female, this beautiful female in a male-dominated world?
Please.
Okay, so a cut man, traditionally it's called a cut man. But being a woman, I mean, we can switch it up a little bit. I think it's time.
I think so.
Basically, what our job is in the fight industry, our job is to protect the fighters at all times. So we protect them before their combat and then during their combat. So we are responsible for wrapping their hands, making sure that we do, our special wraps so there's no broken bones or try to avoid any, damage to the hands in combat. And then in the cage, what we do is we take care of any bleeding or swelling. It's our job to get that fighter to the next round.
Gotcha. How on earth did you get into something like this?
Oh, girl, it has been time coming. I've been doing it since 2006. So it's a couple years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
And I started out actually as a ring girl. I went and talked to the promoter and I'm like, I really want to be a part of this. What can I do? Because I don't want to fight because that's just not going to be a thing.
Why not?
No.
You're like, don't mess up this pretty face.
I'm not a fighter. And he was like, be a ring girl. And I was like, okay. So I did that. And the one weekend that I was doing it, I saw, people behind the scenes, like wrapping the fighters' hands. And I was like, okay, well, being a fan of the sport, there's no greater honor than to wrap the hands of the fighter themselves. Like, are you kidding? And so I just started going to local gyms, just networking, getting people to know my name, know what I do. Through a ton of trial and error and all the things. I made it to the UFC in 2014. So this year, I just surpassed my 10th year with them.
Oh, congratulations.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. Now, do you are you on a team or do you actually go individually on whoever needs you for that particular fight?
So traditionally, if we talk outside of UFC, for example, either the camp can hire you themselves and you're just working independently, or you would work for like the entire promotion. So like when I was like King of the Cage and Invicta and those sorts of things, they hire me for the entire promotion. So then I'm working with every fighter at that point.
Oh, that's so cool. So were you like a huge UFC fan, fighter, boxer girl, and this is what made you want to be the ring girl to hold up, ring 2, 3. And we watch you walk around the ring and go, oh, look at the hot girl. I mean, Was this something that you were just like, wow, I'm really into fighting, I'm really into boxing or UFC? I mean, because there's such a huge difference, obviously, UFC and boxing. But I mean, is this something that you were such a fan of that you really had this passion to be involved in? Or was it you had a boyfriend or something at one point in time that was a fighter and you went to fights all the time and you were like, oh my God, this is so cool. How did it actually, the steps taken to get there?
So kind of underwhelming, actually. So of course I knew about the UFC then. I didn't really watch a whole lot of fighting at the time, but when I did watch it, I mean, I was a fan. Like, it was interesting. I mean, you've never seen anything like it, you
Hmm.
know? And so I actually really fell in love with it when I went to my first live event, because when you go live, it's a totally different experience. And you're like, dude, the atmosphere is insane. So I was like, I got to be a part of this like all the time. So that's what triggered me. And then it actually was just about 5 years ago. I found out that my grandfather, who passed before I was born, was actually a professional boxer, and he fought in the Golden Gloves many times. So I didn't even know that. So I like to believe that it's just in my blood.
That is so cool. Now, when you enter the ring, or I should say, it's before you enter the ring, obviously. When you walk up and you have a fighter, and all of a sudden a female walks up to wrap their hands, have you ever had a fighter or somebody go, "Whoa, hold on a second. Do you know what you're doing?" I mean, as chauvinistic as that sounds, I mean, have you had that type of situation before?
I have many times.
Mm,
Even just with my work speaking for itself, and being fairly publicized, there was still people that didn't trust me. And the fight industry is still very traditional. So even learning new things is like pulling teeth. People's willing to share their secrets. So there's been many times that I have gone up to fighters to like that I'm ready to wrap them, and they're like, nope. And
really?
there's been times where I had to be like, look, I understand, I understand your position. I was like, but we're all here because we are the best in the world.
Yeah.
So just trust that I will do a good job. And if you don't like it, I'll cut it off and your coach can do it. So that's how kind of I started standing up for myself, because before I would just be like, oh, okay, let me go get somebody else. And I'm like, no, I worked hard to get here. I'm going to do
Good.
it.
Good for
And
you.
yeah, I mean, and then there's still some of those fighters, like, I used to always go into the locker rooms first to kind of meet them, but that worked against me because they'd be like, "Oh shoot, she's
Mm,
gonna wrap me, like I want someone else." So I started to wait till they had no choice.
there you
Then
go.
I go in, and then we just made it happen.
So you're absolutely right. I've never been to a live event. I've never been to a live boxing event or UFC event, but I have heard they're absolutely insane, and the intensity that happens, and that competition and that fire that's like literally in the atmosphere. Look at you. I can see you right now. You're just like, oh.
You stole my heart. It's so incredible.
Now you get to wrap their hands, but then during the fight, obviously, people are getting hurt. They're getting their eyes, their ears. I mean, so in other words, you know exactly what to do to stop that bleeding. I mean, we all see it on television, but I'm sure we don't see all of it. You know. So has there ever been a situation to where you're like, whoa, this is a little intense? Like I would maybe pass out at certain things.
That's fair. That's fair. There has been some injuries where you're like, I really don't know how I'm going to tackle this. And I would say the most challenging ones is when there are multiple, injuries on the face. Because then you're like, what takes priority? Clearly, like anything in the field of vision, that's going to take priority, because I got to get this fighter to the next round.
Hmm.
They're banking on me to keep the doctors in their seat. So it's just kind of like I just assess, and of course I'm watching the fighter the entire time. So throughout the fight, I'm watching the damage as it happens. So I'll be like, okay, well, I'm going to work on, this one first. And if there's swelling under here, I'll put my inswell there and put my hand here. Or sometimes you have to grab the coach or someone that's in the cage too and say, here, hold this here.
Yeah.
So we also work as a team. But the biggest challenge is, yeah, when there's multiple injuries on the face. I'd have to say the one that I just dread the most, to be honest, are nosebleeds, because they're just so
Oh,
stop. And everyone bleeds differently, has different veins. So even if you do your best of the best, it's still not promise it's going to be clean.
I know. How many times have we all been in the shower and all of a sudden we blow our nose or something like that, and it just all of a sudden you're like, what's running down my mouth? You're like, oh, and it just takes forever for that nosebleed to stop. You're like, I'm going to bleed to death. I swear.
It feels like it and it looks like it.
Exactly. So now that's interesting because that just brought up another question in my mind is that when these fighters are fighting, okay, so we're gonna get this is like a double-edged question here in a way. Okay, so recently you went and did Botox. Okay, because I saw it on your Instagram. We're going to talk about that. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because of the fact that there's a lot of different procedures that women do and men that you're not supposed to have any like blood thinners, like let's say Advil or fish oils or, turmeric, anything that thins the blood. I was thinking right when you were explaining the cuts and the bleeding, I'm wondering, do these fighters actually take some of that kind of stuff in consideration before their fight?
I don't really know that side of it, like the commission and medical side, but I could imagine that they have. I mean, I know in some of the fight camps, like there are specific things that they can't take and do before they fight. So I could absolutely
It
think
makes
that they would
sense,
have to
right?
stop taking something. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it makes
Because if
perfect
they're if they're if they take Advil the night before, or they're on fish oils or whatever it is, their blood thins. All of a sudden they get a black eye, they get hit in the nose, and that bleeding because the blood is thin now is going to go forever, and it's going to be hard to get that to clot.
Yeah.
Just I was just thinking outside the box. I mean,
No, I never thought of that, and that's pretty freaking brilliant because you are probably 100% on the nose on that.
yeah, I just never thought about it.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Now, let's say, for instance, I'm always curious about this, so I really want to know this. But all of a sudden, you see them; they got a big gash underneath their eye. You get in there, you do your press thing, and then I see a big swab of like Vaseline go over the top of it. Does that actually stop it?
I mean, it gives it an extra barrier. I mean, I always try to close a cut with some Vaseline. And of course, there's only a certain amount you can use. You can't just pack it. But yeah, it definitely helps. I mean, it just kind of keeps it just like a little bit of a band-aid to kind of keep the blood at bay because we want them to be able to see the entire time. A lot of people think that, oh, a cutman, they're just wanting to get the best cuts and just stop the bleeding, like so they can, pat themselves on the back of how well they did. But really, it's bigger than that. It's just to make sure that fighter that doesn't open again, so that fighter has clear vision the entire time throughout the fight.
So you have a very, very, very important role. I mean, it's not just, hey, let's stop the bleeding. This is, like you said, getting the fighters from round to round to round. Because if you cannot stop that bleeding, the doctor, like you said, is going to come up out of his chair and probably stop the fight, if I'm correct.
Exactly, because again, the doctors are looking for something deeper than we are. We're just looking at superficial, just get them through. The doctors, when they're looking for deeper, possible, more serious injury. So when they come in, because I know a lot of fans say a lot of things about the doctors, like, oh, doctor, stop it, she was fine. But what they don't understand is the doctors are looking for something deeper, and their job is to protect those fighters as well. So when a doctor does get in the ring or the cage, it's for a reason, something that you just might not understand. But
No, I totally understand that. So where do you go from here? I mean, is there another level you want to go to?
I'm super happy of where I'm at. I think more of what I would like to do is also continue being a cut woman for the UFC and all the promotions. That's my dream. That's my passion. I'll never let that go. But I've had other opportunities outside of that I kind of want to keep growing on. So, other opportunities, some shows and documentaries
Tell
and,
me, what do you got going, girl?
well, nothing locked in stone yet, but, I'll
Right.
speak into the universe as it happens.
There you
But
go.
full documentaries coming up, so that's going to be super exciting. And then I'm working on the process of a book.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You've got to. I mean, you were the only female in the sport. Are there any now more so that you've actually paved the way for?
Yes, there's actually a lot more women, so I'm so happy to see a lot. It's mainly in different countries where they have actually full woman teams, and
Wow.
it's just incredible. Like I love seeing that, and they all follow me, and I follow them, and any questions they have, like we're just this little family, and I love it.
That is so cool. Now, you have to stay in shape for some of this stuff, obviously. I mean, because you're dealing with men that are big, that, I mean, it's insane. So tell me a little bit about your workout schedule and what you do.
Yes. So my workout schedule, what I love to do best is I love to get outside as much as possible. So I usually start my day, I'll go do a hike. It's about a 4 mile hike on a mountain. So it's 2.5 miles up, about 2.5 miles down. So I'll hike up, run down, and then in the evening, I'll go to the actual gym where I could be doing my weight training. And I love working legs. Legs are my favorite. I'll do legs every day of the week.
Why?
Every day of the week.
Why is that? So many females love to work their legs and their butt. Is it because you want that butt, or is it? I mean, what is it about your favorite?
I think honestly, yes, it's beautiful. So I think that mainly the thing that I really like is I think it's because once you start seeing definition and seeing change, you get inspired and you want to just keep working. And I think just legs change so much quicker. So you're
Hmm.
seeing the physical change a lot quicker than you do other parts of your body, at least in my opinion. So it just kind of gives you that, okay, well, my legs are changing. I want to keep doing my legs. I did just hear this thing today, actually, of saying that women or people in general that have strong quads and hamstrings live longer because our bones hold on, I'm going somewhere with this because our bones, it's just super important. And our biggest bones in our body are our femurs. So the more that we train our legs, the more healthy. I don't know. He explained it way better than I did, but I was like, I see you.
Okay, I hear you. I do. I think obviously in general, okay, that actually sounds pretty good. I'd have to listen to the guy what he was saying, but I think in general, I mean, obviously, weight bearing, resistance training, lifting weights gets that bone density, and it helps the osteoporosis type of situation as we get older. I mean, I tell people all the time, my mom is a prime candidate for this whole weightlifting and what happens. My mom's 83 years old. My mother has fallen, okay, at least 6 or 7 times
Oh,
in the last 2 years. Now, she has not broke a bone. She should have broken something by now. Her arm, her wrist, her hip, you name it, my mom should have broke something. However, my mom started training with weights when she was 25 years old. So my mother has trained her entire life with weights, doing her, little 15 to 30-minute cardio in the morning. And I mean, she's been active all the way up until probably she stopped, I'm going to say around the 78, 79 area because her lower back started bothering her a little bit. But my point is that my mother lifted weights all those years. And at 83, now going on 84, she has not broken a bone and she's fallen. I mean, numerous times. So that to me is just like, whoa. And I heard exactly the same thing you kind of did, not about the femurs or anything in the legs, but people who actually exercise will automatically live longer than the person who will not. Now, we all know there's statistics out there. We know that, it just depends on the group of people that you take. But if you look at the science of this, it's so incredibly true. And especially it's like, I want more women to understand that weight training is so important to their longevity, their life. And like you said, lifting, your legs and standing up and, walking upstairs, anything like that. You need this muscle on your body.
yeah. It's incredible to see and watch your body grow and change and realize that, holy cow, my body is so powerful.
Oh,
It
it's
can do
so
so many
powerful.
things.
And what's so cool is you can mold it to anything you want it to look like, literally.
Exactly. You can tailor made your body and it's just incredible.
So what do you, I mean, because you're in the gym and I know you hear this from different women, like, when we're talking about lifting weights and, resistance training, what do you tell women when they go, oh, I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to lift weights because I'm going to get big.
Oh my gosh. I tell them, well, to get big, you got to eat a lot too. So as long as you're keeping, as long as you're eating healthy and staying in a good, caloric area, you're not necessarily going to build. You'll just continue to shrink and firm. And weights are your best friend. Like that's the only way. And that's the thing. You want to be strong and you don't have to be bulky to be strong. And it's just better off for the overall health. And I just tell them like, don't be afraid of the weights at all. Those are your best friend. If anything, get rid of the cardio and stay with the weights.
There you go. And that's exactly what I believe in as well. And the women, I'll ask them this question. I'll go like, I'll start talking about weight resistance training. They're like, oh, I don't want to get bulky. And I'll ask them, I go, okay, describe me your perfect body. Okay. And they'll go, I want it lean, but I want to see, like a little definition in my arms, and I want my butt to be nice and firm and my legs to be firm. And I'm listening to them. I'm like, okay, what you're describing is muscle. So you have to lift weights in order to get this muscle nice and toned and fit. You're not going to get this nice tone and fit body by just doing cardio. It's not going to happen. So when they go, I don't want to get bulky, I'm like, let's reassess what you're thinking and how this is working. But 100% agreed with what you're saying. It's, you don't have to do as much cardio. Let's lift weights, because it does. The more muscle you have on your body, as you know too, the more muscle you have on your body, the higher your metabolism is. So it's like, yeah. And then that every girl nowadays wants that butt, right? Give me that butt.
Shelf butt? Yeah. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of them. But I've seen a lot of them bought as well too, because they don't want to put the work in.
You are not wrong. There's a lot bought.
How many of you seen in the gym that you're all that you do is you walk in, you see them doing butt, but then again, you look at their butt and you're like, you just bought that yesterday.
You're like, last week that bitch was flat.
Instant, overnight. I know, it's so funny. I just, I love talking with women about, fitness and getting in shape, and the more muscle they have on their body, the sexier it really is.
Oh, it is. I mean, women are so sexy in general. To just be like, just to emphasize that and just.
Mm-hmm. And you're right. When I say that we're not designed that way, when people go, I don't want to get bulky, women are not designed. When I say design, that means hormonally. We don't have that, the male testosterone, how much we have in our body to actually build the muscle like the men do. It takes us that much longer, that much more weight, that much more food. And you're absolutely right. You have to eat, Let's get into your cosmetics.
Okay, queen.
I love this. Okay. So now let me set the stage here though. First and foremost, I'm flipping through my Instagram and all of a sudden I stop and I see your post, and I was hysterical because this girl posted about her very first time getting Botox. And now I'm going to let you tell what you posted, because it was funny.
So I got Botox for the first time 2 weeks ago. First of all, I should have started a year sooner, because it's amazing. And I got it. And as I just did a couple things, and the doctor's like, you want to like let your skin rest. You don't want to do Botox consistently every couple of months, or else you're going to get atrophy, and it's just not going to be good. You don't want to stay frozen. And I'm like, but doc, I like Frozen, and I'm not talking about the movie. I'm like, now they got me on this Botox journey, and I'm like, I am not mad at it. And I didn't even know that they could do things with Botox that they can do, like with your lip. You can do this lip flip. I did that. That was great. So many things that you can do with Botox.
So many things.
Incredible.
And it's interesting because I have gotten now. You got yours a couple years before. You started a couple years before I did. Okay.
Okay.
I waited until, I might have waited even a little bit longer. I think I was around 40, probably 40, 41 area, maybe 42-ish, when I had my first Botox experience. And it kind of scared me a little bit. But then again, I saw so many positives outweigh the negatives. What started happening with me is a deep crease across my forehead. I started getting that. And then somebody goes, oh, you need to get Botox and get rid of that. And I'm like, what do you mean get rid of that? How do I get rid of that big, deep line on my forehead? Because that big, deep line on my forehead made me look older. And I was like, ooh, I don't like that. So yeah, went and got Botox in it. And what it does is, for people out there who haven't gotten Botox, and what she's talking about is the frozen part, is it literally paralyzes the muscle, is what the Botox does. So therefore, if your forehead can't move and create that wrinkle's going to go away.
100%.
It's like, woohoo!
100%. It's using a needle. I'm
Look at you, youth and a needle. Okay, but wait a minute. You're too excited about this. So I'm going to keep an eye on you because I'm going to be your friend, because how many people have you seen? You go, whoa, do they not have a friend? Because their lips are ginormous.
I know, but hey, it's not filler. So with the thing that was weird with the lip was since it paralyzes the lip, it feels super heavy. You can't put your lips together
No, wait,
very well.
that's
You
right.
can't make
You said something like, you said, if I can't make S's, and what was the other one?
I think it
S's?
was like M's and B's. I can't
You're
say them
like,
very
I
well.
don't care.
You can't hold stuff in your mouth. Like you're not gonna go on any dinner dates because it's gonna be barbaric.
No, but it
Um,
didn't do that, did it?
no, it didn't.
Yeah.
But it was. I mean, you had to get used to it, and then that heaviness goes away, and then you get the benefits, and it gets better, and you can start saying letters again.
You can start you can start saying your letters again. You can you can I'm sorry I'm laughing, but I'm laughing with you because there was one time, okay, I'm going to explain one of my small experiences that you're going to laugh about. Is so the lady did some Botox my forehead. She did it around my eyes for the crow's feet, and then she said, "You carry tension in your jaw, in your mouth." And she goes, "Let's put a little right here in your chin." I'm like, okay. And by that, at that point in time, I was doing real estate. And so she put some Botox in my chin. And then I come back the next day and I'm like, first of all, what's this ginormous bump? It looked like a bubble on my chin. And then you're right, I could not say a few words. And I was like, I'm a real estate agent. I need to sell houses. And I'm going to come up and I'm going to have a lisp because I can't say these words. And what made me more mad than anything is when she saw me, she started busting up laughing. And I was like, this shit's not funny. You need to fix this. Yeah, you need to fix this. Needless to say, she goes, she did something and it kind of dissolved it, and it did go away. But I never went back to her. So anyway, I say this because there's a lot of people out there that do ask me about, different things that I've done. They're like, oh my God, you're this age. Everybody knows how old I am, but I hate saying it. You're this age, but you look like you're in your late 40s. How is this possible? Well, it's because of maintenance. It's like you're starting at your age right now. So it's maintenance over the years. And it's to slow down that aging process. We can't stop it, but man, we can slow it down. And I'm not afraid of putting it on a little bit of Botox in my forehead. I'm not afraid of doing a little lip filler here and there, because all these little things over time, look what they do.
I know. And my esthetician, she told me, she was like, even just the baseline. If you just put on sunscreen every single day, you can almost stop aging as well. On your face. And I was like, are you kidding? And she's like, and it's not too late to start now. It doesn't matter what age. And it's just, and that's just with, the protecting yourself from the damage of the sun. And because I thought like I was a lost cause. I'm like, well, I'm 38. So the sun's damaged me already. And
Your
she's like,
skin
no,
looks beautiful though. It really does. Your skin looks great. I mean, I don't know what it looks like in person, but on camera, no, really, it looks amazing. It really does. So, I mean, but these are the wonderful things. I mean, okay, let's go here for women. I mean, because so many women are like anti-aging, hormones. What do we do? And it's a combination of everything. Don't you agree? I mean, it's a combination of exercising. It's a combination of taking care of your skin, Botox a little bit here and there. Some will be afraid of it. More for us.
right. It's okay. And, I come to the conclusion too. It's like, you only live once. As long as you're being healthy and like you said, you're exercising, you're internally healthy, you're mentally healthy. Anything on the outside that just makes you feel better about yourself is all that matters. So if you don't want to see yourself aging because it's hard to see, and then do something that can help you get through that a little easier. And Botox, it was incredible. And like I said, I'm hooked. I mean, it's so nice to see literally years come off of you in one session. It's just crazy.
Now, your doctor did say 2 months. I will say this. If you have a fast metabolism, I do have to go every 3 months. It's almost like at the third month, if I can move my forehead up and down, I'm like, oh, it's time. but you should try to wait as long as you can. Not till baseline. You're not going to ever get back to baseline, but you'll get a sense of it, of when it's really wearing off. But 3 months is usually a good point, especially if your metabolism is fast and you're exercising and doing cardio and hiking and all that. Absolutely. But then there are women out there that don't exercise at all that actually can get Botox to last 6 months. Wow. But think about it. It's because their system's not moving. You're and right. it's not, Exactly. Wow. So, count it as a blessing. Yes, every 3 months it can get a little costly here and there. But then again, what is the cost of youth?
Priceless. Don't let me be your financial advisor. We will make bad decisions together.
Absolutely.
Start the esthetician office with Botox.
And then it'll be fillers. And then after that, it'll be Sculptra. And then it'll be... She's like, I got my list already down. Oh my God, that's so funny. You could do a commercial for Botox. You were such a like advocate about it. You're like, yes.
100%. Juvederm. Let's do
it. Juvederm. That's not Botox, people. That's another filler. But anyway. So I'm so happy that you came on the show today, because there's so many times, I love talking with, younger women about what's happening in their fitness life, in their careers, what they're doing for anti-aging. You're not even in your 40s yet. You're not going through any kind of weird hormonal changes yet. So just enjoy it, But once you start getting into that area, that's a whole nother topic as well.
I'm ready.
However. Exactly. But I just wanted to thank you so much. I wanted to catch up with you because I haven't seen you in so long, especially from after To Tell the Truth. And your story is so fascinating. Working with only men, UFC, the only female in there. You're beautiful. You walk in a room and they're just going to go, well, I don't know if you want me to touch my hands, but everything that you're doing, you're in that male dominated world and it's slightly changing, but it's still not there quite yet, Now, have you ever thought about, women are fighting now, right? UFC and MMA and everything. Do you do their hands as well? Or is it just men? You're prejudiced. No, I'm kidding.
I do them all. I'll do them all.
Very cool. That is so cool. Tell me where they can find you. What are your socials?
You can find me on any social media site. Just Swayze Valentine. Type it in and you'll find me.
Swayze Valentine. I know. You're like, just go on the internet and find me.
Just hit Google.
Just hit Google. Oh my God. Thank you so much for showing up today. I really appreciate it. And is there anything else that you want to promote besides a new book possibly coming out, a new documentary that's possibly it sounds like you got a lot in the fire, but I would say people definitely follow her.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It's always good seeing you. It has been too long, darling. And
I know. You're up in Seattle now, right?
Yeah.
You're just right around the corner.
Just right. Hop, skip, and a jump.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Have an absolutely wonderful day. And we will talk soon.
Perfect. See you later.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to Chillin' With Ice. This is Lori Fetrick, and this is where legends live on. Thank you so much for listening to Chillin' With Ice. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share wherever you listen to your podcast. Remember to follow us on Patreon and YouTube at Chillin' With Ice. And on Instagram and TikTok, you can follow me at lori.ice.fetrick. I look forward to chilling with you next time here on Chillin' With Ice.